Back at Heathrow this morning, this time for Romania. Just found my favourite gate to wait in for flights, gate 24, terminal 3. In the sun, empty, and a nice view. First 3 buses, they were jammed in like sardines. Well, arrived on time here at Bucharest Airport, and soon be catching the train to the North Station in Bucharest to catch a train to Brasov for this evening. So this is the train line that links the airport to the central station where I need to be shortly to catch my train north. I'm expecting it to be a bit cooler in Brasov. It's about 70 odd miles north of here. Very sultry day here, about 30 degrees at the moment. This intercity train between Bucharest, the capital, and one of its biggest cities, Brasov. It's the slowest train I've ever been on. We are in the Carpathian Mountains and soon to be entering Transylvania. We're pulling in very slowly into the station at Brasov. Only 10 minutes late. It seems a lot longer and a lot later. Well, I just checked in. Nice spacious room, very pleasant, quite modern. Short walk from the train station, about 100 metres, so that was good. I'll try and grab something to eat shortly. Bathroom is one of those weird ones. It's a shower cubicle. It's glass fronted and looks out onto the room itself. No privacy needed today though. I'm the only one on this trip. Elizabeth is resting her leg at home, and hotel room offers a little view of the Carpathian Mountains. Nice thing is they put me on the top floor, the 10th floor, without me needing to ask. Looks a bit dark out there. The rain stops now, but we're expecting thundery showers over the next couple of days. Got a canyon hike tomorrow, and we'll see how wet that's going to be. Well, it's a beautiful sunny morning. First full day in Romania. Shortly going to be picked up from the lobby by a guide who's going to take me to the canyon, but preparing for the worst because there are showers predicted, so I have my raincoat and also taking a Niagara Falls raincoat just in case. We're heading up the hills in the Carpathian Mountains towards the Seven Ladders Canyon on a beautiful warm morning, waiting for the rain.
Quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color.
I've just asked my tour guide Dan if he's heard of Freddie Mercury, and I think he must be the only person in the world that has never heard of Freddie Mercury. But he says he's heard of David Bowie. Right, concentrate now. Woo. Go, go, go. Keep going, keep going. What do I look like?
Sting.
A little bit like Sting. Yeah,
There's a lot.
Thank you.
Mix Sting.
Yeah. We are going to the 7 ladders. 7 ladders. We're on our way after an hour and 20 minutes of hiking. Well, just resting up for a few moments. Just over yonder, a few meters away, is the first of the ladders. It's a fairly easy one to start off with. And up we go. And we're there. I'm not sure I know what you'd call their job. Anyway, let's go up. Oh, somebody's coming down, so I'm going to hang on for a second here. Ooh, that was a long one. I've left Dan behind briefly while he sorts himself out and has a coffee and practices a bit of his singing. He's going to catch me up in a few minutes. He's having a bit of a breather. Singing takes it out of you. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne. It looks like that might be the end of the ladders, and now we're coming to some steps hewn into the side of the rock face with a trusty handrail to cling on to. That bit negotiated. Now it looks like a pleasant walk. Well, we made it up the ladders, through the canyon and back down. Well, that's where we were, up in those hills, up in those mountains, part of the Carpathian Mountains. Now we've come back to the car and we're going to go back to the hotel and I'm going to get dropped off. That was Catherine's Gate, and this is Rope Street, the third narrowest street in Europe, behind a street in Germany and a street in Exeter. And it's covered in graffiti. It is quite narrow though. It's a very narrow street. More of an alleyway really, but hey, it's called Rope Street, so who am I to argue? probably the best place, or one of the best places to get a shot of that. So that's where Hollywood got its ideas from. Come on, Hollywood, get your own idea. Quite a popular place with tourists. There you are. The third narrowest street in Europe. And one that is very popular with tourists. Look at this lot. Jesus. Wow. Who would have thought? Ooh, what a day. Exhausting. Hiking through a canyon, climbing waterfalls with my opera singing tour guide, then back here for a quick drink, then having a stroll around the old town, dodging the rain, back here now for a bite to eat, and early start tomorrow morning, get a bus to Bran Castle, and back here via the bus in order to reclaim my luggage from the hotel and catch a train to Sighisoara. Pleasant enough bus journey. Now just got to find the famous castle. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Oni už jdou nahoru.
Jo, tak to v pohodě.
Ale bacha,
Budeš trošku na bokách od země, ale dobrý.
schody jsou vyhledaný.
To je normální.
Well, that's the castle done. Rain's held off, luckily. Spent a couple of hours in the castle and grounds, and now going to try and find the bus back to Brasov. Back to the hotel, collect the suitcases, jump on the train to Sighisoara. Well, I found the bus stop just across the road from this park. I've got about 5 hours before my train leaves Brasov station. Should make it in time. It's about a 45-minute bus journey. Fingers crossed. And glad I went early. Got up at 6:30, had breakfast at 7, checked out at 8. And yeah, glad I went early because the queues were non-existent and you were able to walk pretty freely around the castle, whereas coming out just now, the queues are really starting to build up and it's got more congested. And away. It is a very slow journey, even slower than Monday. I'm poised to get off, hoping to get into town before sunset. Well, made it just before sunset, a couple of minutes to spare, which is a relief because you don't want to get caught out in the dark in this neck of the woods. Anyway, very pleasant place here in Sighisoara, spacious, nicely decked out. I'll show you a bit more of it tomorrow because I just need a drink now after the journey I had on that train. Romanian trains have got to be the worst trains I've ever been on. Anyway, good night.
Nie wiem.
This is the very historic covered walkway, which I think was built to shelter school children going to school in the inclement weather that Sighisoara seems to attract. Either that or for churchgoers, but it is quite steep and a lot of people are having to stop and rest on the way up. Quite an interesting place, and this is the top. View from the highest point of the old town. The view from the church on the hill, which may or may not be called St. Nicholas's. I'll have to check that out, but it's an old Saxon church. The old cemetery attached to the church, filled mostly with the graves of people with German names. The church on the hill, dedicated to Saint Nicholas. And now back down the covered passageway. Well, yesterday I was in Bran. Today it's Vlad's birthplace,
Sighisoara.
and just round the corner is the house he was actually born in. Let's go and check it out. Apparently the next door neighbours always had suspicions that he'd be turning out to be a bad un. As a young child he was strangling ducks and torturing geese, apparently. Yeah, on one occasion sucking blood from a young hedgehog. Ugh. And that is indeed the house. The very house he lived in as a wee young boy. Vlad. Now, some people might say that Bran Castle was a little bit over-commercialised, but at least there is a lot of historical data to verify. This is actually the place where he lived. And this, at least, has got a touch of authenticity to it. And you know, there are not going to be any cheap gimmicks. So, yeah. This is the real authentic experience. Very genuine, not gimmicky. There's going to be no Draculas jumping out of coffins.
Yeah.
That seemed as though that was maybe Vlad Dracul himself. Wow. Still alive and kicking after all these years.
Yeah. Super.
Seems like everywhere you go in Europe these days, the old interesting buildings you want to see are having maintenance work done to them. So this clock tower, that's currently out of action due to the renovation work going on. This is the view from the top of the old town, facing to the north. Came across from the station last night, across that bridge, crossing the river. Train station is over there somewhere. Sighisoara station, which looks quite grand, not grand, but acceptable. When I got off the train yesterday, there were planks of wood leading passengers off the train through to the station. This is it. Well, I'll be heading back tomorrow morning to catch a 9:30 train to Bucharest, and that will be a long journey. Over 5 hours. Apparently Sighisoara has 9 old towers still intact that ring the old city. Nice little town hall. Certainly puts the Guildhall and Civic Centre to shame. absolutely starving after my journey on the train today, so I've got some ostrich sausages and a nice halloumi salad as a side dish. Feet not looking too great at the moment. Try and restrict myself a little bit to how far I walk today, as podgy as they've been for a while. This is the place in town where everyone comes when it's raining. Not quite sure why. There must be a reason for it. I don't quite see it myself. No idea. Just doing my once a year row around Central and Eastern Europe. Whew. Wow, what a beautiful monastery. Superb. What a fantastic location this is. worth coming here just for the decor. This is the place I really wanted to eat in when I came to Bucharest. Yeah, good luck fitting them all in, monastery. Now this is a very interesting metro station in that this is one that was built in the 80s, and the great dictator's wife, Mrs. Ceausescu, didn't like their plans to build a few more metro stations because she claimed the Romanians were getting too fat. So basically they kept their plans secret to build this station and just told her they were building the other ones. And because it was kept secret from her, we're only able to build this very low maintenance and very low budget with a platform that is merely 1 meter wide. This explains the strange look of it. All to do with the secrecy of the engineers in this city's department in the early 1980s. After it was built, it was Bucharest's secret station for a number of years. Trains never used to stop here. They used to go straight past until it was redeveloped. And here we are back after a busy day's sightseeing to my last home of the trip, the Athena Suites and Hotel. Very, very spacious suite. Number of places we've stayed in over the years where we could do self-catering. If only we'd had facilities like the size of that fridge. Not only that, whenever we had a freezer this big, things we could have done with regard to meals and things. And here's me not using any of it because I've been eating out in Bucharest. And I'm not sure whether we've had a balcony this big ever. Similar setup in Tirana where you could go out one door, along the balcony and through the other. Space.